Here we go, Steeler Nation. My name is Jack Sperry. You are watching Steelers Talk Live here. We are coming to you from Chat Sports Studios in Dallas, Texas. I want to know, where are you guys watching the show from? Put it in the comments section right now. Jeremy Chuggs, our producer today. How are we doing, buddy? It's a great Wednesday. New day for Steelers Talk Live.
It's a great day. It's a great day. Anytime we're on Steelers Talk Live, it's a great day.
That's right. Absolutely. Let's see where everybody's coming from. Not Webb's World. It's coming from Miami. We got McAllen, Texas. We're close to you, Rick Steele. And then we got Brian, see you from Vegas. Let's go. Travis Jackie from Pittsburgh. Love it. True Yinzer. We got North Carolina. Trey Roberson. Trey. What's up, my guy? All right, Gary Reynolds. Gary. Glad you could make it. I know you couldn't come by a couple weeks ago. I think you were on business. So we got Hawaii, Ontario, New Jersey.
It's actually Hawaii.
Hawaii. Okay. Oh. Okay. No, Chuggs. No. We're not doing that today. What's up?
You gotta pronounce it right.
No, I'm not. Chuggs. All right, we're moving on. All right, so let's see who else is in the chat here. We got Sigalo from Houston, Texas. We're close, man. We're close to you. Zach Ward, West Virginia.
We're actually not that close to Houston.
Yeah, that's true. We're a couple hours away from Houston.
Like 5 hours away.
Same state. All right, we're all Texans here. All right, we got Germany. It's easy from Darmstadt, Germany. All right.
Oh, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
That's right. Greensboro, North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio. Man, what I love about Steeler Nation is that it's truly global. Like, it's not just in one part of the country or in a specific state. There's Steelers fans all over the United States and all over the world. So I appreciate everybody for stopping in today. And I wanted to ask another question here, Chuggs. I got told this week that I look like a Jeff, and I just didn't think that I looked like a Jeff. So let me ask you guys, if my name wasn't Jack, what would you guess it was? All right, so wrong answers only here. What would my name be?
Well, I have a right answer. It's not a wrong answer.
Well, okay, so what do I look like, Chuggs?
You look like a Carl.
A Carl?
You look like a Carl.
I do not look. I
could see Trevor.
Trevor. Okay, Trevor. I kind of do look.
See Trevor.
I kind of do look like a Trevor. Hubert.
I could see that.
Have you ever met a Hubert?
I have not, but if I did, I think he would look like you. Harry, Jason, Jake, Barry Sperry
is the winner. That one wins the day.
Shannon.
Gary Reynolds. Brendan. Shaquisha. Yes. Yes.
Trey agrees. You look like a Carl.
I do not look like a Carl, guys.
Kind of do.
Do I look like a Jeff? Someone told me I look like a Jeff.
Nah, I don't see Jeff. You don't give me Jeff vibes. You do give me major
Wilbur. I like Wilbur.
You give me
Sigwell
major Carl
Chris.
energy.
Travis Jake says Tim. What do you look like, Chuggs? You look like a Chester.
Chester?
You look like a Chester to me.
Oh.
Let me put it in the chat right now, guys. What does Chuggs look like? Does he look like a Jeremy? I think he looks like a Jeremy, but I could see a Chester. I could see a Deuce.
Yeah, let me change the way in for
everybody. So what does Chuggs look like, guys? So Brian, I like Brian. Someone said Brian. He does look like a Brian. Rob, Justin, not Webb's World, says Keith. I'm not sure about Keith.
Keith Chuggs.
Nicholas.
Nicholas Chuggs.
William.
You can call me Dick.
Dennis. He looks like a Gary. Carlos. Yeah.
Gary Reynolds.
Senor Chuggs. Carlos Chuggs. I like that.
Whenever it's summertime and I have a little tan, I'm not saying anything, but people do come up to me and start speaking Spanish.
Especially when you use your Senor Chuggs accent. All right, guys. So I want to give some shout-outs here to last week's Noti Gang. So essentially what Noti Gang is, if you're new to the channel here, is you get in early and you bring your comments to the videos during the week. So
these are the people that replied the very first replies on each of our videos this week.
That's right. So
John
Pell, Gary Reynolds, Gary, Corey Foreman, Raymond, and Lincoln Seibel. Really appreciate you guys for getting in, turning on notifications so that you could get right into the video and get that first comment in there. So go ahead right now, turn on your notifications. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that. We're right on the cusp plus of 22,000 subscribers here on Steelers Talk. So if you're new here, go ahead, subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure to get into those videos quickly so you can get on next week's Noti Gang. So coming up here on the show, today we're going to be talking about free agency, okay? It's next week, guys. We're a week away from the new NFL league year, so we're going to be talking about what the Steelers need to do this free agency period, which players are they going to be targeting, all that good stuff. We got some Lamar Jackson news and rumors coming up as well, because we know that's going to affect the Steelers next year. And then I'm going to be giving you my full free agency predictions for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023. So everything from cuts to what they do in free agency, guys that they extend, guys that they restructure. I'm going to be doing it all on the show today. And then, of course, we have that Steelers live mailbag. So go ahead right now and tell me, will the Steelers make a big move in free agency? Type Y in the chat for yes, or type N if you think no. Jeremy, will they make a big move in free agency? So I'm talking like someone that's not on the roster last year, a new player, contract worth $10 million or more per season.
Ooh. That's hard.
I think it's going to be tough financially. They're going to have to move some pieces around in order to do that.
You're going to have to cut some guys. You're going to have to cut. You're going to have to cut Trubisky. You're going to have to cut or let Sutton walk.
You might have to trade somebody like a Deontay Johnson, maybe.
You're going to have to cut Chucks.
Yeah, you have to. If you're gonna bring in somebody new on a $10 million contract, you gotta cut Chucks.
Cut Mitch. Cut Chucks. Make a couple moves. Maybe you restructure. Sign Mike McGlinchey.
McGlinchey? Oh my goodness, man! That would be a monumental move. I think he's gonna be worth a ton of money. He might be the best right tackle in football outside of Lane Johnson. Like, he's pretty damn good, man. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section right now. Y for yes, N for no. Will the Steelers make a big move?
Let's go. W Repulse says Y. Trey says N. There's two Treys. There's TRE and then there's TREY. They both say no. Lee says no. Brian says yes. Charlie's saying no. Travis saying yes. Gary's saying big N-O. Brendan saying yes. Dominique saying no. Charlie saying no. Travis, you got to get off the fence, Travis. He said probably.
I see Rig Steele in the comments right now saying sign Bud Dupree. We're going to be getting into that a little bit later in the show. It's definitely an interesting topic. I can't wait to talk about it with you, Chugs.
Bring back Mr. Bud.
Mr. Bud. I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. I don't want to dive too deep into Bud here before we get into him. But let's get into some weekly shout-outs on Twitter. My promise to you guys is that if you follow me on Twitter, at Jack_Sperry, I will get you a shout-out here on Steelers Talk Live. So here are this week's shout-out. Shout-out to Sean, El Magnifico 227, Jamie Roman, Henry Thomas, Corey O'Connell, Logan Gregory, MVP Blaze, Simplement Ruben, Zach LXV, and Don Dre. Thank you guys so much for following me on Twitter. And again, if you follow me on Twitter, at Jack_Sperry, you get additional Steelers and NFL content, plus you get a shout out on Steelers Talk Live. So now let's get into some Super Chat menu items that we got today. A little bit different today. So we got any Super Chat you're going to get on the show, plain and simply, all right? So you're going to get on the show, you're going to get a shout out, and then we also have a new item today. For a $10 Super Chat, we are going to spin the brand new Pittsburgh Steelers Wheel of Death, okay? So we got a bunch of different little things in there. So we got tortilla slaps, we got a chug shot in there, we got jumping jacks for me, and then there's a new one in there that you see sour Skittles in there. So we're actually doing a promotion on the show today. I only see 19 likes. We got 73 people watching. If every single 20 likes that we get on the show today, it's going to add to a total of sour Skittles that Chugs and I are going to eat at one time at the end of the show. So, for example, if we get, say, 40 likes, that's 2 Skittles that Chugs and I have to eat at the end of the show. But if we get up to, like, our goal today, 200 likes, then that's going to be 10 sour Skittles. And then, of course, if you get the $10 Super Chat and you land on another Skittle, we're adding another one to the total. So it's going to be a really fun show today. Of course, $20 Super Chat, you get a tortilla slap. I got the tortillas locked and ready. Jeremy Chugs has been waiting for this all week. He's ready to let loose some frustration.
If you Super Chat, we have a live mailbag coming up.
That's right.
I've already seen people using hashtag Steelers in the comments. That gets you on the mailbag, but also Super chatting automatically lets you skip the line and join our Steelers live mailbag.
That's right. So not only if you get a $10 super chat, you can get your question on, and then we can also spin the wheel. So make sure to get those super chats on today's show. And then we also have one more promotion today. It's kind of a special promotion. It's kind of for the real ones here in the chat. If you want to join what we're calling the Steel Curtain. So it's a special group of people that have super chatted $100 or more on a show. So Anthony Fuller, Your Highness, if you are in the chat, we are not worthy. You are a part of the Steel Curtain. And what we're going to do, guys, is that we have ordered a steel sign, a Steelers bottle cap sign. It looks like this. We've ordered it. It's on the way here. We got a couple of Sharpies. If you get into the Steel Curtain Club here on Steelers Talk, we're going to put your name here on the sign. We're going to be putting it on the show every single week. It's going to be sitting on my desk. I really appreciate everybody that super chats, but if you want to be in a part of a kind of a special club here, go ahead. $100 super chat will get your name on the Steelers bottle cap steel sign and become a member of the Steelers Talk Steel Curtain. So again, coming up here, we got some great Steelers rumors that pertain to NFL free agency. ESPN had a couple of really big moves that they suggested the Steelers make this offseason. Going to be talking about a lot of big names on that segment. And then, of course, I'm going to be giving you my full free agency predictions. Not what I would do, what I think is going to happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers over the next couple of weeks.
Crystal balls.
Yes, my crystal balls. They've given me some visions here over the last couple of days. I'm going to be sharing what they have shared with me. And then, of course, we have the Steelers Live mailbag. Use hashtag Steelers along with your question in the comment section or super chat to skip the line and get your question on today's show.
I think we're about ready. Are you all ready
to
start the show?
Yeah, if you're ready, type me in the chat right now, guys.
Who's ready to start the show?
And I want to say, okay, we got 81 people watching, 30 likes. So right now, we're only at one sour Skittle. All right, let's get up to at least 2 here. Let's get up to at least 40 likes here over the next minute. I'm going to start a timer here. Let's get 10 more likes here and add another Skittle to the total before we even get going here, all right?
Brendan gets it. He's saying, let's go!
Let's go. We got a minute on the clock. Let's get going. All right.
Oh, we're almost there. We're going to get there.
We got 9. We got 82 people watching, guys. It's a super free and easy way to get things done here.
Trey's ready. Let's freaking go.
One more like. One more like. One more like. Come on. One more like.
Who's going to be the 40th?
Who's going to be the 40th one? Who's going to get our show going? We can't start until we get that 40th like, guys. Somebody just do it. Oh, we got 5 likes there. Let's go. And with that, let's get into some Steelers Talk rumors. Welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today on the show, ESPN has suggested 2 big moves for the Steelers to make this offseason. I'll be revealing what those are and give my thoughts. And then also Lamar Jackson, the latest on him. Is he going to be a Raven? Is he going to be somewhere else? I'm going to let you know in just a second. And then, of course, we got a new segment here at the end of today's Rumor Show. It's going to be a lot of fun, so stick around for that. But before we get into all of the good stuff today, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We're almost at 22K subscribers here on the channel. We're just above 152 subscribers away from getting to 22, and you know what my favorite number 22 is? Najee Harris. So go ahead and do it. Subscribe to the channel right now for Najee Harris so that we can get up to 22K here on the channel. All right, guys, so let's get into what ESPN has said the Steelers should do. So they had 2 big moves for every single team in the NFL to make this offseason, and they said that the Steelers must sign Eagles inside linebacker TJ Edwards in NFL free agency next week. This is what they had to say. It comes from Aaron Schatz from ESPN and Football Outsiders. This is what he had to say. Originally, we planned to suggest 33-year-old Levante David for the Steelers, as he's still playing at a high level. However, signing a veteran doesn't seem like the Steelers' way. They're more likely to sign a younger player still in his prime, and they continue to say, so how about the 27-year-old Edwards, who started for Philadelphia for the past 3 years? Edwards is not a supreme run stopper, but he's excellent against the pass. Last season, he allowed just 3.6 yards per pass in coverage with a 74% success rate. So here's what I think about TJ Edwards. He's one of the most well-rounded inside linebackers in the NFL. Shat said that he's not that great against the run. I disagree. I think he's one of the top 10 run stuffers in the league at the position. I think that the numbers bear that out. I think his PFF grade last year, 6th in the National Football League, bears that out as well. His expected market value, however, is going to be 3 years, $12 million per year, and that's according to Pro Football Focus. And the big question for me with TJ Edwards is that going to be a little bit too rich? Are the Steelers going to be willing to dish out this kind of big contract for an inside linebacker? And personally, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be a bit too pricey, right? You look at guys like Myles Jack on the roster right now. Even if you cut him and save the $8 million that you would save by cutting Myles Jack, you still have to pocket out $4 million per season to Edwards every single year. And this is a defense that, remember, you're going to extend Alex Highsmith this offseason. You still got Myles Jack on a big contract. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick on a big contract. TJ Watt has the largest annual salary for an edge rusher in the National Football League. So adding a guy like TJ Edwards, I just don't think makes a whole lot of sense. I think if they want to add a linebacker in free agency, it's going to have to be somebody that's a bit lower of a price tag. I just don't, although I love TJ Edwards as a player, I just don't think he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. But let me know in the comment section right now, will the Steelers make a big move in NFL free agency this offseason? Type Y if you think yes, or type N if you think no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So whenever you get an ad break, go ahead and go into the comment section, find that pinned comment. It'll be right there at the top, and answer today's question. So the second move that ESPN suggests that the Steelers make is to trade up in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft for a premier left tackle prospect. This is what ESPN had to say about the Steelers' potential draft pick trading up here. A boost of elite talent up front could reposition the team near the top of the AFC once again. The Steelers aren't in a great position to sign free agents, however, given their usual spot right up against the cap. And they continue to say the 49th pick would suffice to leap in front of the Jets at 13 for their preferred choice. By the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't drafted a tackle in the first round since 1996. So coming up here, I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on the Steelers potentially trading up to take a big-time left tackle prospect. But before we do, let's have a word from our sponsor at Athletic Greens. I drink AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day, and I love it. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted more sustained energy throughout my day and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. AG1 combines all of your key health products in one convenient and tasty beverage. And in my line of work, guys, sometimes you have to put in those long hours. So AG1 helps me feel energized and sharp so I can be at my best no matter how busy my schedule gets. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be any easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with 12 ounces of water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. Easy, simple. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day, and if you ask me, that's pretty darn good. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients, which of course is a win-win for you and your health. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplemental routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. So my thoughts on the Steelers trading up to get a left tackle is that they definitely shouldn't force it. I think the only way that the Steelers should trade up to go get their guy at left tackle is if there's only one guy that they are willing to take in round one that's left on the board, and the team that they're trading up with, they're not wanting too much. I think that if you look at the guys in this year's draft class, Peter Skoronski is definitely somebody that I would be willing to trade up for. He's somebody that I compare to Rashawn Slater of the Chargers, who, despite the shorter arms that these two men have, They have great technical proficiency. They play with great footwork. They play with great power and agility. I think Peter Skoronski is going to be a really, really good player. I would trade up for him. And then also Broderick Jones. Let's say that Peter Skoronski and Johnson go before maybe pick 13, and then in that range of before Washington, right, 14, 15. If there's an opportunity to trade up to get a guy like Broderick Jones, I would probably take that as well, as long as the team that's looking to trade down isn't asking for too much. The Steelers do have that second round pick at their disposal. If it means going up and getting the guy that's going to be protecting Kenny Pickett's blind side for the next 10 to 15 years, I'm absolutely willing to do that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Should the Steelers trade up in round 1 to get their guy? Type hell yeah or hell nah in the comment section for me right now. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this one. So now let's talk a little bit about Lamar Jackson, who just got the non-exclusive franchise tag from the Baltimore Ravens. Yesterday, we talked about it, and I said yesterday that it's looking like that Baltimore is probably going to lose Lamar Jackson. Now let's go over the situation. The Ravens placed the non-exclusive franchise tag on Jackson on Tuesday, just like we talked about, and the cap hit for next season is going to be $32.4 if he plays on that tag. So that's actually not that much for an NFL superstar quarterback. And then also, the big revelation yesterday is that when that news was announced, multiple NFL teams that people thought were going to be interested, the Falcons, the Commanders, a bunch of other teams already came out and said that they will not pursue Jackson in free agency. Here's the complete list of teams that have already come out and said that they are not going to pursue the former NFL MVP in free agency. The Falcons, we really thought the Falcons were going to be right there. Same thing with Carolina, the Miami Dolphins, Washington Commanders, a team that I really thought was going to go after him, and then the Raiders have also said that they're not going to be going after him. So with all these teams saying no thank you to Lamar Jackson, could the Ravens actually get away with this, to put a non-exclusive tag on a superstar level quarterback and then end up paying him way below market value next season? I mean, if he plays on the tag next year, he's going to be making maybe $10 million, maybe $15 million less than what he would have been making if he would have signed the contract with him. Now, I think that with all these teams coming out and saying we don't want Jackson, I think it makes it even more likely that a deal gets done with the Baltimore Ravens. I really hope that it doesn't happen, but I guess we will see in the coming weeks and months. Will Lamar Jackson be a Raven in 2023? Answer this question for me in the comment section right now. Type 1 if you think yes, or type 0 if you think no. For me right now, guys, I'm 50-50. I'm not sure. I think another team might be willing to swoop in, but right now it's starting to look a little bit more like he'll be a Raven next year. So now we have a new segment here on the show. It's called Hot or Cold. So what's going to happen is I'm going to bring on producer Jeremy Chugs here, and he's going to give me a bunch of proposals here, and I'm going to tell him whether I'm hot or I'm cold on that idea heading into 2023. Welcome into the show, Jeremy.
Thank you. My first question for you, Sperry, hot or cold on signing Orlando Brown Jr. from the Kansas City Chiefs?
So I'm cold on this one, guys. I think Orlando Brown Jr. is a fantastic talent. I think that he is still pretty young. I think that he's a very solid left tackle. I think he's the best option in free agency this year. The problem is I don't want to pay him what he's going to want to be paid. He's going to be wanting over $20 million per season. He's going to want to be one of the highest paid offensive tackles in the league, and his play just did not reflect that last year. So I don't think the Steelers should invest that much money in a guy that's kind of mid-tier production, and I just don't think it's a really good idea for the Steelers to make that kind of move.
All right, Jack. Next question for you. Hot or cold on trading for Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons? Where do you sit on this one, Sperry?
So I really like Jeffrey Simmons. He's a great player. I have to go with cold, however. Right now, the question really is it's going to be between Alex Highsmith and Jeffrey Simmons, because you can't really pay both of them. This defense already has a ton of big contracts. It's really going to come down to who are you going to pay? Are you going to pay Alex Highsmith and give him an extension for future years? Or are you going to get Jeffrey Simmons and give him the big contract extension that he's looking for? For me, I'm going to stick with Highsmith. I love Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans, but I'm going to go with Alex Highsmith here. I'm cold on this one.
All right, next one. Hot or cold on cutting Myles Jack and signing the #1 inside linebacker according to PFF, Mr. Bobby Wagner, are you hot or cold on this one?
I am red hot on this one. I would do this in a second if I were the Steelers GM, Omar Khan. Bobby Wagner is freaking fantastic. And right now, Pro Football Focus is projecting that he's going to accept something along the lines of a one-year contract, about $7 million. I'm taking that all day long. If you cut Myles Jack, not only you get $8 million in cap savings, you can use 7 of that on Bobby Wagner, and you still have another $1 million to spend on another free agent or something else. So I really think that would be a good move for the Steelers. But at the end of the day, I think they do like Myles Jack. So will it happen? I'm not too sure.
All right, next question for you, Jack. Hot or cold on signing former Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks?
I am cold on this one, just like it is in Minnesota. All the people in Minnesota right now are shoveling their driveways. They're freaking freezing their fingertips off, their toes off, and that's how cold I am on this guy. The Vikings last year, their defense was absolutely atrocious, and part of the reason for that is that although Eric Kendricks is a very smart player, been in the league a long time, very savvy, good instincts, he just doesn't have the speed anymore. He just doesn't. He's getting older. I think that he is cooked. I don't care what the contract is. I don't care if he comes to play for the Steelers for free. I want somebody else in the starting lineup. I don't want Eric Kendricks in a Steelers uniform next season.
All right, Sperry, hot or cold signing Rams wide receiver Allen Robinson? Where do you sit on this one?
So, this one's interesting because he can play in the slot a little bit. He's a decent route runner, but at the end of the day, I'm cold on this one. I'm very cold on Allen Robinson. Although he's had success in the past as a route runner, as a route technician, over the last couple years against man coverage, he's just not getting open that much. Now, he led the Rams last year in separation, but if you look at the Rams wide receiver room, it was absolutely awful. So I think Allen Robinson is just not a very smart investment for the Steelers coming up here. I think they're pretty solid at wide receiver, right? You got Deontay Johnson, George Pickens is coming up. You got Pat Freiermuth, an excellent receiving tight end. Calvin Austin III is coming off the injury. I think that maybe they add a wide receiver in free agency, kind of a bigger slot guy maybe, but I'm just not a big fan of Allen Robinson. Personally, I'm cold on this one.
All right, last question for you, Sperry. Hot or cold, will the Steelers win the AFC North in 2023? Are you hot or are you cold on this one?
Cincinnati Bengals, pretty darn good, but I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm going to say I'm red hot. I am on fire right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the AFC North in 2023. Kenny Pickett is going to make the proper steps to become the true franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens is going to establish himself as a star wide receiver in this league, and I think that the defense is going to be one of, if not the best, in the National Football League next season. So although the Bengals, pretty darn good, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North next season. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for today's show. So go ahead for me right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got free agency stuff coming up here. We got draft stuff. Free agency's right around the corner, okay? Changes are going to be made from today to a couple weeks from now. If you want to know what those changes are, go ahead, subscribe to the channel right now, and turn on notifications. All right, so let's talk about this, Chugsy. Will Lamar Jackson be a Baltimore Raven in 2023? This could affect the Steelers big time next year.
Yeah, that's going to be that's an interesting one. A couple people in the chat, and Rad Swag, that was just the end of that cut. That was the end of the rumors cut. We still have 2 more segments.
Yeah, we still have 2 more.
Video.
We're not done yet, Rad Swag. We got a bunch of gas in. Yeah,
I'm not effing leaving.
We got a lot of gas left in the tank.
It's hard. A lot of people have been saying collusion in the chat. Are teams trying to drive down the price of the quarterback market, per se, of Lamar Jackson? You got teams like the Eagles, like the Chargers, like a couple other teams that have quarterbacks that are due for a contract. Could this be the NFL owners coming together?
Yeah, after the Deshaun Watson deal, the NFL owners were not happy that they gave him that much guaranteed money. And our Cowboys host here, Tom Downey, his theory is all these owners are coming together and they're saying, we're not giving you all that guaranteed money. I'm sorry. Now, I think Lamar Jackson, if I had to pick one of these, I think I'm about 50-50 on this right now. But right now, I'd have to lean yes.
Yeah.
Because all these teams have already come out and said that they're not going to be pursuing him. Now, there's conflicting reports. there's conflicting reports on the Falcons, for example.
And see, if you're the Commanders and you have what pick do they have? Like the 15th?
16th.
The 16th pick? You're telling me you wouldn't trade the 16th pick for Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, 16th and then your first rounder next year. I would do that in a heartbeat if I was Washington. You would have arguably the best quarterback in the NFC right when that happens. Right when that happens. And if you're Ron Rivera and your job is on the line next year and you're going, I could have Lamar Jackson here, but give me Sam Howell. Give me Sam Howell to save my job next year. I mean, give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, I don't know if this is collusion. I don't know if this is a smokescreen. I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of nuts right now. It's kind of become the story of the 2023 offseason.
Collusion!
But as a Steelers fan, I want Lamar Jackson's ass out of here now. I want him in the NFC. There's too many good quarterbacks in the AFC as it is already. So although I think he's going to be a Raven next year, I want him out of here. That's for damn sure, man. All right, so we got a mailbag coming up here. It's going to be our next segment. We don't have any super chats in there right now, but
maybe this will entice people.
Yeah,
maybe I went a little bit too high. Maybe we do this because I kind of want to spin the wheel a couple times.
All right, so we're making a change here. Instead of a $10 super chat, now it's a $5 super chat to spin the wheel of death. We got a bunch of great items on the wheel today. We got tortilla slaps on there. We got a here we go chant. We got adding sour Skittles to the total today. We got a chug shot in there as well. We got jumping jacks. We got a bunch of different stuff on there. So if you want to get your question right at the front of the line of today's mailbag, go ahead, send in a $5 super chat, and then we'll also spin the wheel for you. Right now, we got about 116 people watching, 64 likes. Okay, so right now, Chugs and I have to eat 3 sour Skittles.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby, but I think we can do better. Let's get up to 80 likes here before this mailbag starts. Give some people some time. Get those super chats in.
Get your questions in.
Get your questions in. If you don't want a super chat, you can use hashtag Steelers along with your question.
I've seen people doing it in the comment section already. All you have to do is ask a question in your comment, and at the end, put hashtag Steelers in your comment. That allows me to find it easier and put it up on screen. And Jack, this next segment, he's going to be answering your questions live on air.
That's right. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what you guys have on the week before NFL free agency. The rumors are flying this time of the year.
Week.
I'm very, very excited. And right now we're at 66 likes, guys. Let's get up. Like I said, I want to get that up to 80 right now. We got 105 people watching. We got the mailbag coming up here in just 1 second. If we get up to 80 likes right now, guys, that means 4 Skittles at the end of the show. And then if we keep spinning the wheel and we keep adding Skittles, I mean, we might get up to like 10 Skittles at one time with the sour. Oh, God, that would freaking hurt. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the sour Skittle stuff, but we do it for you guys. So get those likes in right now.
Frankie's asking a question. Zach, Sports Edits by SA, Austin, all asking questions. Austin, you got to use hashtag Steelers like the people above you in your question.
Yep, make sure you're using hashtag Steelers every single time.
Sell, maybe not. You'll have to find out at the end of the show.
Sell asks, are those Skittles edibles? No, they are not. No, we are at
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are, but I guess we'll see on that front. But no, they're not. They're not.
And Not Webb's World gonna start off our mailbag again.
Let's go, Not Webb's World, man. He's really become a mainstay.
Second week in a row, starting off the mailbag.
That's right. Getting the party started. If you want to send in a $5 one, Not Webb's World, we'll spin the wheel for you real quick. So you're gonna be at the top of the mailbag here real quick. How many questions do we have in there right now, Chugs? Are we ready to get going?
I think we're about good. Let me get all set up. Let me get myself ready, and we can start the mailbag today. Fanatics, all right, all good. Just checking that, and I think we're good. You ready, Sperry?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to answer some questions. We're going to get that Steelers mailbag going for you right now. Welcome into Steelers Talk Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today, I'm going to be answering your questions on the Pittsburgh Steelers just days before NFL free agency kicks off. But before we get going here with the questions, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. NFL free agency is the craziest time of the year. Big changes are going to be made to the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. There's going to be people cut. There's going to be people signed. There might even be a trade if we're lucky. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel right now, and turn on notifications so you know when those big news items happen. We're going to be going live if there is a big story here. So make sure to go ahead, turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel so you're always up to date on all the latest with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to start today's mailbag with Not Webb's World, who sent in a $2 super chat, and he has the ask here: cut Edmonds if we can't sign Tremaine. So yeah, Terrell Edmonds is, so you can't cut Edmonds because he's a free agent. So the question is, should the Steelers re-sign him? I think that there's a pretty darn good chance that he comes back. Right now, his market value isn't that high. I think the Steelers like him. He's got some good chemistry with Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, I know some Steelers fans don't like Terrell Edmonds. They want to get somebody else. But I think that at the end of the day, what's going to happen is that the Steelers will re-sign Terrell Edmonds. So another question coming in here from Zach Ward, who asks, should the Steelers just cut William Jackson and use that salary to re-sign Sutton? 100% yes. I think that we talked about it yesterday on the show. There's a report that the Steelers are planning to cut William Jackson III. It's going to happen maybe even during today's live show, but I guess we'll see on that front. But William Jackson III is not going to be a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers next season unless he re-ups. He's going to get cut. Maybe he re-signs. I don't know. I guess we'll see on that front. But absolutely, use that money to re-sign Cam Sutton. We should be paying that $12 million per season to Cam Sutton. So I'm 100% on board with this idea, Zach. Next question comes from Skylar Strong, who says, if desired offensive lineman and cornerback all taken by 17, should we take Addison? Ooh, this one's a tough one. I think it would depend on who's there at defensive tackle. I really like Kalijah Cansey from Pitt. I think he'd be a great fit. I'd probably take him over Addison, but I'd be willing to take Addison maybe at 17. Addison's a tough one because he did not run what we were expecting him to run at the combine. A lot of people are turned off by that 4.49 40-yard dash time, but he ran good routes. He's got great film. He's got great chemistry with Kenny Pickett. I wouldn't be surprised if offensive line, cornerback, and defensive line, if they're all gone, the Steelers will probably trade down. And then if Addison falls to like the mid-20s or something, that's where you take him. I don't think you take him at 17. I think in this scenario you probably trade down. Next question comes from Dwighty Tighties, who says, could we sign Eric Kendricks? The answer to the question is yes, they could. He's a free agent. He's probably not going to be asking for a ton of money. He's getting a bit older. He had an off season with Minnesota last year. He's a smart player. I just think that the speed is no longer there. He cannot keep up with speedy tight ends and really even slot receivers. He was trying to go up one-on-one against slot receivers last year. I just don't think that that's going to be something that he's going to be able to do. You look at the depth chart, you could bring him in, maybe cut Myles Jack, put him in there, or maybe you can let Robert Spillane go, sign Eric Kendricks instead. But personally, I just don't think Eric Kendricks has it anymore. I think he's a smart player, good veteran player, but I just don't love the fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers personally. So right now, go into the comment section and name a player that you want the Steelers to sign in free agency. Okay, is it Orlando Brown Jr.? Is it Bobby Wagner? Is it James Bradbury? Is it somebody else? Let me know in the comment section right now. Who's the player that you want the Steelers to add in free agency this offseason? This is the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. Next question comes from Joe, and he says, Lamar Jackson to the Texans? Thoughts? Now, I mean, maybe? Probably not. That's what I'm going to say right now. I think that the Texans probably want to get one of those younger quarterbacks, either probably Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud at the top of the draft. Now, the question is, is Lamar Jackson better than both of those guys? Right now, yes. But with DeMeco Ryans coming in right now, they're trying to build for the future. Getting a quarterback, and a good quarterback at that, on a rookie contract, I think is something that would be particularly valuable to them. So I don't think the Texans are going to be looking into Lamar too much. Next question comes from W. Repulse, who asks, should the Steelers trade Cam Hayward for a first and second this year and get more cap? Now, first of all, no. I just don't. This isn't going to happen. Cam Hayward, he was arguably an all-pro caliber player. Last season, they really love him. He's the team captain. I mean, what it would do to the locker room to trade this guy, it would just absolutely destroy the locker room. The players would absolutely be on pins and needles because, I mean, Cam Hayward is about as irreplaceable of a leader as there is in the National Football League. And then his presence along the interior of the defensive line is unmatched. He was fantastic, especially down the stretch last year. I just don't see this happening whatsoever. And even if I had the power to do this, I probably wouldn't do this either. So, guys, if you need a lucky charm for next season, the Steelers could have definitely used a lucky charm this year. But you need to get some green Steelers gear. It is St. Patrick's Day, which means that our website here has a ton of great Steelers apparel. And, you know, if you want to bring the luck of the Irish to Pittsburgh next season, go ahead and get one of these awesome items. I know I'm going to get one of these t-shirts so to make sure that we have that four-leaf clover representing the Pittsburgh Steelers the next year. I know these socks right here, guys, these things are going fast right now. They got Steelers on there. They got the clovers on there. I think we got like maybe 10 of these left in stock. These things are going like crazy. So this St. Patrick's Day, go ahead, go to chatsports.com/Steelers Green to rep the Pittsburgh Steelers this St. Patrick's Day. Next question comes from Steeler Nation, who asks, should the Steelers let go of Devin Bush and draft Noah Sewell? So yes, on Devin Bush, 100%. They're going to let him go. Devin Bush doesn't want to come back. He was benched at the end of last season. He's done it being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now, Noah Sewell, if he's there, maybe in early day 3, I would do it. He didn't test great at the combine, right? He was a bit slower than people thought. He wasn't as big as he was as playing weight, which I guess you could say is a good thing, but, you know, trimming weight and then still not getting any faster, that's not a good sign. So I think he's probably a day 3 prospect, or at least that's where he should go at this point. If he's available in like round 4, maybe I would take him, but I think that there are better inside linebacker prospects in this year's class. Next up comes from Frankie Montellano, who asks top 3 corner or top 3 offensive lineman. Thanks for the question, boys. All right, so for me, in the draft, I'm going with a top 3 offensive lineman because you can get a really good corner on day 2 in this draft, right? I think Emmanuel Forbes will probably be there on day 2. Kelly Ringo will probably be there on day 2. There's going to be some really good cornerbacks. Julius Brents from Kansas State's probably going to be there on day 2. But if the Steelers are going to be drafting an offensive lineman this year, especially early, it's probably going to be an offensive tackle to be the left tackle of the future. There's only 3 of those guys in this entire draft class. You cannot get that on day 2. So for me, if I have a choice between picking offensive lineman or corner in the first round, I'm taking offensive tackle all day long. Next question comes from Alex Duncan, who asks, are you out on the Steelers signing Odell Beckham Jr.? Yes, I am. He's going to be asking for a ton of money. I think that trying to share the sugar with guys like Deontay Johnson, who expects a certain amount of targets, and George Pickens, who's on the up and up, and then interjecting and injecting Odell Beckham Jr. into that, I just don't think that dynamic works out well. And then plain and simply, I just don't think the Steelers have the money to go get him. He's going to be asking for a ton of money despite coming off a major ACL tear that took him out for the entire season this last year. So I think the Steelers are pretty solid where they're at right now. We'll see on Steven Sims. He's a restricted free agent. Calvin Austin III coming back. His prospects are really nice. George Pickens, really good player. And then Deontay Johnson. I think that rounds out a pretty darn good receiving core. And then, of course, you got 2 pretty darn good receiving tight ends with Pat Freiermuth and Connor Hayward to help you out as well. So no for me on Odell Beckham Jr. But let me know in the comments section right now, would you sign Odell Beckham Jr.? Type OBJ for yes or type no BJ for no. All right, so next question comes from Steeler Nation again, and he asked, should Pittsburgh trade for Sidney Jones? No, they should not. I don't think they should. I think that you could get probably better value than Sidney Jones in the 7th round, to be honest with you. Now, he's a decent player. I think that, you could probably interject him, but he was a candidate at the trade deadline. I think the Steelers are focusing more on getting younger and building through the draft right now. So that's a hard pass for me on Sidney Jones. Next up comes from Rad Swag, who asks, rate this 3-round mock. 17 Broderick, 32 Deontay Banks, 49 Drew Sanders. That'd be a fantastic mock. That's an A for me. That's an A for me because you get your future left tackle in Broderick Jones. He's the guy. He's a mauler. He's got Pittsburgh Steeler written all over him. I would love him at number 17 if he would fall. Then you get Deontay Banks, who in my opinion is a first-round cornerback At the top of day 2, Deonte Banks, great press man corner. I think he's going to be a great talent in the National Football League. And then Drew Sanders is fantastic as well. I really like Drew Sanders. He's going to be someone that's a bit more of a project. He's not really polished in zone coverage or in man coverage yet. So he doesn't have that, but he's a great blitzer. He's great against the run. He's just learning the position, and of course, he's got all those physical tools that you look for. All right, so if you're watching this video right now and it's not Wednesday, that means that you missed this week's live show. That we do our mailbags during our weekly live show. But if you're not watching that right now, you can still give to the channel via Super Thanks. So you can donate outside of live shows. It's a really cool feature that YouTube has. You can click the thanks icon. It's that heart with the money sign in there, and then we appreciate any kind of financial support that you guys are willing to provide. We really appreciate you. And again, if you're watching this, you want to get a question on the show, use Super Thanks to get your question on the show. We got a couple of Super Thanks this past week, so we want to give some thanks to Nicholas Harmon, who gave $2. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for your generous $2 there. And then we got Gary Reynolds. Gary, appreciate you, Gary. Love the show. Sorry, couldn't get in for the live show. I'm out of town for business, but keep coming with the Steelers news. Appreciate the $10. Super thanks, Gary. Always appreciate your support. So now let's get back to the questions here. From Jay Quest. Should we draft Darnell Washington in the second as a 6th lineman if all the O-line prospects are off the board? So Darnell Washington is a tight end, not an O-line prospect. Okay, so if he's talking about Darnell Wright, out of Tennessee, right tackle in the 2nd round, I wouldn't mind that at all, okay? So I wouldn't mind that if you cut Chukwuma Okorafor. Like, if you're going to bring him in, I just don't see any way of using that high of a pick on somebody that's going to sit the bench. I don't think he's a left tackle in the league. I just don't. I think he's going to be either a right tackle or a guard, and if you still have Chukwuma Okorafor on the roster at his price tag, you are going to play him. So it kind of depends on if they cut Chucks here in free agency, during free agency. If they do, I say go for it. Add him as a or as a right tackle. If not, I would say probably go get a corner or some other position there. So let me know in the comment section right now. Who do you think will go number 1 in the NFL draft this year? Do you think it'll be Bryce Young? Will it be Will Anderson Jr.? Maybe C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson? Let me know in the comment section right now who is going to be the number 1 player off the board come late April. Next question comes from John Phillips, who asks, how about trading 17 and 32 for pick 9? So if they ended up doing this, that means that Peter Skoronski is the only player on their board, or they only have one offensive tackle on their board that they want to take, right? If you have multiple guys left on your board that you would take at left tackle, you're not making this move, plain and simply. You want to keep those high draft picks, as many of them as you can, but if they only have one guy left on their board that they're willing to take at left tackle, then that's when you make the move, in my opinion. At number 9, I don't think any offensive tackles are going to be off the board by 9. I would think they would have more than one offensive tackle on their board that they'd be willing to take. So I'd say this is probably unlikely. And personally, I wouldn't do this either because I like all of Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr., and Broderick Jones. So for me, I'm not making this move. I'm keeping that early 2nd round pick. I'm going to get another good player. Next question comes from Black and Gold for Life, who asks, would you trade Deontay Johnson? No, I wouldn't, especially because Matt Canada is still the offensive coordinator. And last year, it was a lot of running the ball on 1st and 2nd down. I think the Steelers led the NFL last year in run, pass sequencing. And it just led to a lot of 3rd downs, a lot of 3rd and mediums. And in order to convert on 3rd and medium like the Steelers did, they were one of the best 3rd down teams in the National Football League towards the end of the year. You need a receiver like Deontay Johnson that can get open against man coverage, because in 3rd down situations, teams like to blitz, teams like to do man coverage. So you need somebody that can consistently win in those situations. And luckily for the Steelers, Deontay Johnson was one of the best get open elite route runner type guys in the National Football League last year. The Steelers offense doesn't do nearly as well as it did last year. And even then, they weren't even that good. Like they did what they did last year in large part because of Deontay Johnson. So with Matt Canada returning with a lot of run, pass sequencing, I want Deontay Johnson on the roster. All right, guys, so now go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. If you want a shout out on next week, next week's Steelers Talk live show. My promise to you is if you follow me on Twitter, you get additional Steelers and NFL news and rumors content, plus you get a shout out on next week's live show. So go ahead, do that for me right now. That'll be it for me today, Yinzers. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. All right, so Chugs, let's talk about this for a little bit. Who is going to be the number 1 pick in this year's NFL draft? Let me know in the comments who you think.
Anthony Richardson.
Oh, my God. Man. To what team? Who's trading up for him? The Colts. I mean, that would be the most Jim Irsay move of all time to move up for Anthony Richardson. Now, the two teams, it would be like Al Davis's Raiders, seeing that 40 time, do whatever you have to do to get that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jim Irsay, who just loves the cannon arm guy.
Also, Jay Quest, he kind of was in the comments during that. He had the question about, we thought he was talking about Darnell Wright. He actually was talking about Darnell Washington.
Because he put Washington in there.
He was talking about Darnell Washington, saying that could he be a tight end and an offensive lineman?
I'm not too sure he can play offensive line in the National Football League.
He's not. I don't think he's big enough.
But he'd be one hell of a blocking tight end. Now, are the Steelers really looking for a blocking tight end in round 2? I would say probably no. They talked with a couple tight ends at the combine. They didn't talk with Washington.
And this tight end class is pretty deep.
It's very deep. It's got a lot of really. Luke Musgrave from Oregon State, great receiver. I mean, they've got the kid from Iowa, Sam Laporta. He is an athletic freak, man. Like I watched his film the other day. The guy just moves like a receiver, and he's big. So it's like the Steelers talk to him too. So if they take anybody,
he's already wearing black and yellow.
And he's already in black and yellow. That's right. It's black and gold actually for the Steelers. Chugs, don't try to get me on that now. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Bryce Young. So Bryce Young is my pick. Bryce Young is probably going to be going number 1, whether it be I don't think Chicago's trading Justin Fields. They keep saying they're not. I think they're going to trade the first overall pick to somebody. If I were Houston, I would trade up to number 1. To me, there's enough of a gap between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young to make that move. Personally. Now, what I think is probably going to happen, somebody else is going to come up to 1, and I think Houston is going to want Will Levis. I think they like Will Levis because you got D'Amico Ryans that's coming and Bobby Slowick coming from the 49ers system. They want somebody that can run that type of system. Will Levis has played in a Shanahan-style, pro-style offense for 2 years. So I think in their mind, they're going to be like, oh, this guy is plug and play. This guy can play for us. Problem is, his accuracy is terrible. I have him as my 4th guy right now. I wouldn't trade up for Will Levis. I would take Anthony Richardson before him. But if I'm trying to be, Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans, I think they're going to like Will Levis. And I think it's going to be a mistake.
And the thing is, they're not gonna do any of that, Sperry. The Texans are going to draft Will Anderson with the 2nd pick. And they're going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo in free agency.
Now, I was thinking about this today. What they could do is they could take Will Anderson at 2, then they could trade back up into the top 10 to take a guy like Anthony Richardson. Or Will Levis.
If Will Levis falls,
they could do that. I feel like Garoppolo is going to want to go somewhere that he knows he's going to get a full opportunity to play. I think the Raiders is probably number 1 on his list because he gets to go back with his boy, Josh McD. And I think that's going to happen. I think that's probably the worst case scenario for the Raiders. But, I mean, I just feel like that's what's going to happen personally.
Yep.
So right now, guys, we only have 1 super chat, and we haven't been able to spin the wheel yet. What's going on, man? We have not spun the wheel yet. $5 super chat's all it's going to take, guys. You get your. If you got a question, I will answer it, and then we will spin the wheel. We got some great items on the Steelers Wheel of Death.
We're a supply and demand kind of business,
Oh my gosh, Chugs. What are we doing here? I
want to spin the wheel. $2 to spin the wheel.
$2 super chat to spin the wheel. If we get multiple, we'll spin it multiple times. Okay, guys, this is a premium price. For a $2 super chat, you could get another Skittle added to the total. You could get a tortilla slap.
And Cassie says, I think Jack should have an honorary extra Skittle for me.
All right, so Cassie is my girlfriend. She's in the chat right now.
Oh.
We're gonna add another Skittle just for her.
Oh, that's
Don't say
love.
I've never done anything for you, babe. All right. So right now we got 80 likes. We got 107 people watching. Like I said today, guys, every 20 likes, Chugs and I are going to add a Skittle to the total.
You know what? Just so y'all can see the wheel, Not Webb's World already sent in a $2 super chat. Kind of why I changed it. Let's go ahead and give them one wheel spin just to show them.
All right. So we'll get a one wheel spin going here. We'll see what it lands on.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's spin it.
All right, here we go.
Oh no. Tortilla slap on the first roll.
Let's go.
Well, congratulations, Not Webb's World. You just bought yourself a tortilla slap for $2. All right, so you want to do it right now here, Chugs?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
All right, so we're going to do that, and then right after this, we're going to be getting into my predictions for the Steelers in free agency, so you're going to want to stick around here, guys. Oh, my goodness. Just get it on this side here.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, God. Yeah, he did not hold back on that one, guys, whatsoever. So congratulations, Now Webb's World. $2 super chat got you that. God, I feel cheap now. I feel cheap giving that out for $2. But appreciate you, Not Webb's World. If you want us to spin that wheel again, all it takes is a $2 super chat. So get in there right now. We're about 17 likes away. 17 likes away from adding another Skittle, sour Skittle to the total today. Oh my God, we already have 4. Let's see how much we can rack that up by the end of the show. All right, guys, we're going to get into our last segment today. I'm going to be predicting every single move that the Steelers make this free agency period. You're not going to want to miss it. So, Chugs, are you ready to get things going? All right, let's get it done. All right, welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today, I am going to be predicting every single move that the Pittsburgh Steelers will make in 2023 NFL free agency. But before we get into today's action, are you a true Steelers fan? Steelers fans want to stay in the loop of everything that's going on during the offseason, okay? That's what we provide here on Steelers Talk. Next week, free agency, there's going to be breaking news. It's going to hit, and you're going to want to get the scoop on all of it. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on notifications as well, because we might be going live anytime next week if there's a big move. If they sign Bobby Wagner, if they trade Deontay Johnson, if something big happens for the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason, we are going to be going live, so make sure you're subscribed and notified so you're always up to date on everything Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so starting off here, I'm using the cap calculation of Steelers Depot here, who says that after everything here, before the league year, Steelers are over the cap by just about $1 million, so just over $900,000. So at the end of the day, they need to make some cuts. So here are some of the guys that they could end up cutting if they wanted to. William Jackson III, cornerback, saves you a ton of money, has no guaranteed dollars whatsoever. Chukwuma Okorafor, if you wanted to cut him, you could save $10 million or about that if you make him a post-June 1st designation. Then you got Mitchell Trubisky, backup quarterback. He's got a big cap hit. You could save $8 million of that if you cut him. Miles Jack, another $8 million. Levi Wallace, $4 million. Kella Witherspoon, another cornerback, dealt with injuries this past year, $4 million. Montravius Adams really did not perform well at nose tackle, 2.5. Gunnar Olszewski with 2, Miles Killebrew with 2, and then Arthur Maulet would save you $1.5 million. Now, I think that they're going to cut 4 of these players. So those are the guys that could potentially get cut. I think they're only going to make 4 cuts because the Steelers, I think they're going to try to keep the band together and try to compete for a title with mostly the guys that they already have. So these are the 4 guys that I think the Steelers are going to cut. William Jackson III just makes too much sense. It's too big of a cap hit next year for somebody that hasn't proven himself to the team. Team saves $12.1 million by cutting him. Then Montravius Adams, nose tackle, $2.5 million. Just did not play well last year. He needs to hit the open market. Saving $2.5 is a no-brainer on that one. Gunnar Olszewski and Miles Killebrew, the other guys I would cut. each of them giving the Steelers an additional $2 million. So before I get into the moves that I would make in free agency, go ahead right now and subscribe to the brand new NFL Draft channel that we have here at Chat Sports. It's called NFL Draft by Chat Sports. You can find it at youtube.com/chatNFL. And if you're like me, you can't get enough NFL mock drafts, prospect analysis, prospect rankings, team needs for all 32 NFL teams. That's what we're going to be providing for you guys on NFL Draft by Chat Sports. We got a bunch of great interviews from some of the top prospects at the NFL Combine. You're not going to want to miss those. Guys like Joey Porter Jr., guys like Jordan Addison. We got a bunch of great interviews on there. You're not going to want to miss it. And at the end of the day, guys, more subscribers to this channel equals more videos. So if you want more mock drafts, team-specific mock drafts, more prospect analysis, go ahead and subscribe right now. The more subscribers that we get, the more videos we can do. And go ahead and do me a favor. Once you go to these videos, comment Steelers in there and let them know that Steeler Nation represents the channel, because we care about the draft. We care about our Steelers. We want to let them know that Steeler Nation has the best fan base in the entire NFL. So go ahead and do that for me right now. Again, youtube.com/chatNFL, and subscribe to the brand new NFL Draft channel here at Chat Sports. Okay, so now Mitchell Trubisky. So you might have noticed that I didn't cut Mitchell Trubisky, but what I would do is I would give him an extension so he can lower some of that cap hit that he has in 2023. Right now, a backup quarterback, paying somebody over $10.5 million as a cap hit for a backup quarterback just doesn't make sense, guys. I'm going to lower that by giving him a 2-year extension, making it so that each year he's making $6 million per season. That's much more frugal. And of course, next year's cap hit would be $6 million, which would save the team $4.62 million in savings. Now, if you cut him, it's going to be $8 million in savings. So maybe for you, maybe you think it would be better if the Steelers just cut bait with him altogether. But I think Trubisky's somebody that's worked well with Kenny Pickett. He's played in the offense before. He's won games as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think it's worth keeping him around if he's willing to take an extension. And at the end of the day, you are still saving over $4 million in cap room. So let me know in the comments section right now, if you were in charge, what would you do with Mitchell Trubisky? Type C if you would cut him, or type K if you would keep him. Personally, of course, I'm keeping him. I would just give him an extension. But if you want to cut him, that's perfectly cool with me as well. So after all these moves, after the cuts, after the extension, all that good stuff, they have about $22.3 million left to spend in free agency. To me, with all the guys that the Steelers need to re-sign, all their needs that they need to address, that's not going to quite cut it for me. So I'm going to restructure Minkah Fitzpatrick's contract. So right now, his cap hit is $18 million for next year. That's quite a bit. So I'm going to convert $12 million of his base salary. He's got about $14 million in base salary next year, to a signing bonus that gets distributed over the next 4 years evenly. So at the end of it all, his new 2023 cap hit is going to be $9 million. Cut that cap hit in half, saves the team $9 million with this restructure. It makes this contract a little bit more pricey heading into the years to come, but I think it's worth it to make sure some of these guys the Steelers want to re-sign can re-sign. So after this move, the Steelers would have about $31.3 million to spend on free agents in 2023. And this is going to be enough for me to make the moves that I want to make. Now, again, this isn't what I would do. If I were the Steelers, I would be a bit more aggressive. But I think the Steelers are going to be trying to be a bit more conservative, bring back their guys, and try to run it back with the guys they had towards the end of last season when they went on a run and almost made the playoffs. So keep that in mind. First guy that I think they're bringing back, Terrell Edmunds, strong safety, has really good chemistry with Minkah Fitzpatrick, has been with the team for a while, and right now Pro Football Focus is projecting that the Steelers could get him on a 3-year deal, $3 million per season for a total of $9 million. That's a great deal if you're asking me. Somebody that already has established chemistry with Minkah, somebody that's been in the system, someone that's a great blitzer in my opinion. This is a great deal and a great value for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they make this move every day. And speaking of safeties, I have them bringing back another guy, DeMonte KZ, and right now the Steelers can get him for about $2 million a year. So if he's willing to take a 3-year deal at that price tag, I'm bringing him back for 3 more years, because I really love what the Steelers defense looks like when you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, Terrell Edmunds, and DeMonte Casey on the field at the same time. They can do so many different things on defense. They can disguise coverages. They are just a bloody fantastic defense with these 3 guys on there. DeMonte Casey is a hard worker. He's a great locker room guy. Getting him for just $2 million per season and giving this Steelers defense the versatility it needs is really, really important to me. I think he's going to be a great addition for the Steelers this offseason. Next up, I'm going to add a linebacker here, Robert Spillane, on a 1-year, $2 million contract. Somebody that's been in the system, somebody that knows the defense, somebody that started to play pretty darn well towards the end of last year. You can get him on a cheap contract. I'm going to take that all day long. 4th on my list, Derek Watt. Fullback, he's getting a bit older. His last contract was about $3.5 million per season, but now that he's on the wrong side of 30, he's gonna be taking less here. He just eclipsed 30 years old. He's gonna be taking less as a fullback. $1.5 million is more than fair. And if you thought I forgot about him, you're wrong. I have the Steelers bringing back Cam Sutton. 3 years, $31.5 million. So that is $10.5 million per season. We're essentially using the William Jackson III money to re-sign Cam Sutton here. He's a fantastic player that can play both in the nickel and outside. He's somebody that provides great versatility, somebody that was the best graded cornerback on the Steelers last year by far. Going into the year, he's going to be the cornerback 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully they can add another cornerback that can ascend to that role in the future. But for the time being, Cam Sutton wants to be back. The Steelers want him back. I think they get a deal done, $10.5 million per season over the next 3 years for Cam Sutton. So let me know in the comments section right now, will a deal get done between the Steelers and Cam Sutton? Type Y if you think yes, or type N if you think no. For the Steelers' sake, if they want to compete next year and they don't want to give up big plays down the field like they did at certain points this past year, they're going to really, really want Cam Sutton on their team. So then after these moves, you got about $12.3 million to spend on free agents that you're not re-signing. Okay, so that's not a ton of money because you still have to pay your draft picks as well. But I have 3 names. They're not super flashy moves. I'm just going to let you know right now. I think this is what's going to happen, though. I think that these are players that the Steelers are definitely going to be targeting come free agency. So I have 3 names here. I got a nose tackle, a wide receiver, and another player here. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to share with you guys, but let's just jump right into the first name here on my list, which is Bud Dupree, the edge rusher. He's coming back, guys. He's coming back to be the rotational 3rd edge rusher, to come in on 3rd downs, late in games, be that fresh curveball to send defenses when TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, it's in the 4th quarter. You know, it's late in the game. You're up by 6 points, and you need a big stop. You need a big sack on 3rd down. You bring in Bud Dupree. He's fresh. He is lightning in a bottle, and he's healthy. He is one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League from the outside linebacker position. He's had a couple rough few years, so he's going to be coming at a bit of a cheaper contract. And honestly, he might be asking for a bit more than $3.5 million per season. But if he's willing to come down here, if he's willing to come down to about less than $5 million per season on a 1-year prove-it type of deal, I think it's a great fit for Bud Dupree to come back and pair with TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, who is arguably one of the best, if not the best, pass rushing duo in the National Football League when fully healthy. You add Bud Dupree as a rotational specialist, pass rush specialist on 3rd downs. I think that it becomes even more scary for opposing offenses. It just makes it even more potent, in my opinion. Second guy that I have the Steelers adding, wide receiver Sterling Shepard from the Giants. Now, Sterling Shepard, when he's healthy, he's one of the best slot receivers in the National Football League. He is a route running technician. He is very strong. He's a good run blocker. He's somebody that can be the thunder to Calvin Austin III's lightning, I think. And right now, Pro Football Focus projects that the Steelers could get him for $1.75 million on a 1-year prove-it type deal. And the reason why that one of the best route running slot receivers is going to be that cheap this offseason is, like I said, the injuries. But coming back next year, pairing him with a guy like Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth at tight end. And then, of course, you got Calvin Austin III that can be the lightning to Sterling Shepard's thunder. I think that this provides some stability, some depth to the wide receiver room. I think this would be an excellent move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And finally, we need to address the nose tackle position. And I have the Steelers picking up veteran nose tackle Linval Joseph. Now, I'm not done with the Steelers at nose tackle at this point. I think that they would absolutely go out and get a nose tackle in the draft, but the guys that they have on the roster right now, Alulu, who's a free agent, and Montravius Adams, who I have them cutting, just weren't cutting it this past year, so I have them bringing in a veteran to kind of guide that rookie that they draft. $1.5 million per year, somebody that's been a quality run stuffer in the National Football League for a long time. I think he can still do it at 330 pounds. You bring him in there, you got Larry Ogunjobi, who's a free agent. I'm not bringing him back in this scenario. I want to make that clear. I just didn't have enough money to bring him back. I think with DeMarvin Leal, Loudermilk, and the like, those guys can fill in that spot for the time being, but in a potential mock draft I would do in this situation, I would probably add another defensive lineman. Larry Ogunjobi, according to Pro Football Focus, is going to be worth 3 years, $10 million per season. Now, I like Larry O. I don't think he's going to be worth that much. I think you have to make another cut in order to make that acquisition happen. I don't think the Steelers are going to do that. I think they're going to let him go. But, you add Linval Joseph at nose tackle. You draft another defensive lineman to go with Cam Hayward there. I think you're in a good spot. All right, guys, now quick question for you. Who will the Steelers spend the most money on this offseason? Which player? Will it be maybe a Bobby Wagner? Will it be maybe Cam Sutton? That's who I think it's going to be, guys. I think Cam Sutton is somebody that the Steelers really want back, and I think it's going to take up most of the money that they're going to have at their disposal this offseason. So one more thing before I go here. I want to give Alex Highsmith his due, and I want to give him the extension that he rightfully deserves. I'm going to give him a 4-year, $20 million average base salary extension here. I think that he's earned it. I think that he's got one of the best spin moves in the National Football League. Pairing him up with TJ Watt for the foreseeable future, I think, is something that the Steelers really, really want to do and solidify that pass rush. So go ahead right now and like this video if you think Alex Highsmith has earned that extension. I certainly do. I would be clicking that like button. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Helps push this video out to other Steelers fans. So do me a favor, click that like button right now if you love Alex Highsmith. All righty. So we got through our cuts. Listen, the offer still stands, guys.
And into the show, we got to do this.
Oh my gosh.
2 minutes left, put 2 minutes on the clock.
All right, we're 2-minute shot clock here. All right. Starting now. We got 2 minutes, $2, and we will spin the wheel, guys. We got a bunch of great stuff on the wheel. We got tortilla slaps. I got slapped earlier for $2, guys. That didn't feel good. But we got 94 likes. If we can get 6 more likes on the video right now, guys, we're adding another Skittle to the total. In just a second, Chugs and I are going to be stuffing our faces with sour Skittles. The bag looks clear because the bag is green, but so if we get 6 more likes. Thank you, Cassie. Okay, so we got my girlfriend, Cassie Voth, sending in a heart and a $2 super chat. Appreciate you, babe. Now let's see what we have to do here. Let's spin that wheel, Chugsy. Let's see what we got. Starting the timer again here.
All right, here we go.
2 minutes. Let's see how many we can rack up.
All right.
All right, so here we go.
And we're off.
God, I don't want to get slapped again, man. No. That's a here we go chant. Here we go. All right. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Woo, woo. All right. Thank you, babe. Thank you for the $2 super chat. We still got a little bit of time left. You want us to spin that wheel here before we down some sour Skittles? Go ahead and put that $2 in there. We'd appreciate it.
Woo.
And by the way,
almost another slap.
And by the way, if you want to get your name on the steel curtain that we're bringing in next week, you can put in 100. Oh, we got another one. Let's go. Hey! We got Gut Mud Nut Off. Nice. All right, so we got another one here. Let's go, Steelers. Love you and Chugs. Thank you, my guy. I appreciate you. Let's spin that wheel again. Let's go.
Thank you, Gotma.
Thank you, Gutma. Mr. Nut Off. Thank you so much, sir. All right, we're loading up the wheel as we speak. Starting the clock again. Let's keep this rolling here. What is that? Another? Oh, never mind. So here we go.
Slap.
Oh my gosh. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a minute of jumping jacks.
Fine with me.
So keep an eye on the clock here. I'm gonna be doing a full minute of jumping jacks for you guys here.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Oh yeah, feel the burn.
Let's get physical.
Let's get ethical.
Oh my goodness, man. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half left on the clock. If you want to, okay, I'm out of breath. If you want to spin the wheel again, go ahead and do that.
Go ahead and do that.
Send in $2. It's all it costs, baby. $2. This is a deal.
Let's get ethical.
Oh, Jesus.
Ethical. We want to get ethical. Oh, yeah.
God, has it been a minute yet? God damn.
All right, and we're almost there.
Oh.
We're almost there, Sperry. Woo.
Woo.
Very long minute.
Well, we got 30 seconds left. If you guys want to spin the wheel again, it's just $2.
Dominic Schrader feels like I'm watching one of those TikTok lives. Oh, that's good. We're about to leave. Unless we get a super chat, we can stay live. If not, me and Sperry got to head out.
That's right. If you want to keep the party going, keep sending in those supers. If not, we're going to say goodbye. We're 2 likes away from adding another sour Skittle, guys. Just 2 likes away. All right, if you're watching this, haven't liked the video yet, super easy. Just click that like button. All we need is 2 more. We're going to add another Skittle to the total. So right now we're at 4. We're going to have to add another. Oh, there we go. We got to 100. All right, guys. Ooh, we appreciate that. How much time we got left on the timer? Have you been doing a timer?
Yeah, we're just about out of time, but we're just going to let them. Me and you are going to eat the Skittles. Whenever we're done, if we don't have any more super chats, we're going to head out.
All right, guys, you heard the man. You guys can still send in super chats if you want to keep the party going, but in the meantime, we're going to eat these Skittles. All right. We don't have a step stool for Chugs today. He's gonna have to look a little short. All right, so we got 5 today. Oh God, this is not gonna be fun. And we still have to add 1 for Cassie. So we got 6. All right, so we got 6 sour Skittles that we're putting in our mouth right now. All right. Cheers.
L'chaim.
Oh!
Sour. I'm on my tippy toes. Y'all want to see what I look like not on my tippy toes? I'm right here.
I feel like my teeth are eroding. Oh God, that's nasty.
I'm not short. Sperry's just really tall, I swear.
Yeah, he's not short, guys. He's a solid 5'4". All right, guys, that's good. Oh, Trey Roberson getting in with a $2 super chat. We're going to add another one here. Now, here's the thing. Chugs. If he lands on add a Skittle, we have to eat 7 this time. We're not just going to eat 1 Skittle. All right, thank you so much, Trey. Keep sending in those supers if you want to keep the party going. Otherwise, we're going to say goodbye. If you got a question that you want to send in, I'll answer it. Right after I ate the Skittles, man. All right, I said a minute. I'm going to do another minute. We'll use this as a shot clock, so we got another minute to get another $2 super chat. If we can get another $2, we'll spin it again. starting now.
Let's go. Love it.
God, I feel-
Sperry's getting that workout today.
Feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Getting
Let's
that cardio.
Let's go. Let's get ethical. Ethical. I want to get ethical.
This is for Franco. Franco's birthday was yesterday. I'm wearing the shirt.
Let's ride.
I'm Jack Sperry doing jumping jacks for Franco Harris and Trey Roberson sending in a $2 super chat. God damn. This is much more of a leg workout than I remember it being. I haven't done these since gym class, like in 8th grade.
There we go. Feel the burn.
Oh, jeez.
Steelers fans, here you go. Sperry, make sure you get your hands up. Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
God, my legs are on fire.
They're on.
Woo!
All right.
All right, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for today's show, guys. I really do appreciate you. Thank you to Trey Roberson, cut my nut off, Cassie Voth, and Not Webb's World for sending in those super chats today. I appreciate you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.